And
hey, Laura, how you doing? I'm excited. Here we are on a Wednesday. How are you doing?
I am doing absolutely great. I am so excited. We're going to have on tonight today a former classmate, and also I'm so proud to be his friend. So, and I just want to introduce him because we have a lot to talk about. But his name is Brett Reese. He lives in Wisconsin, and he's a lawyer, and he also writes books. I got one of his first books here.
Oh, that's good.
And he actually signed it and sent it to me a few years ago. So I'm so excited that he's on. But he's going to talk about something that he's doing exciting right now that it couldn't happen at a better time. So without further ado, I am going to bring it to Brett. Brett, you ready to talk?
Well, thanks so much. What we're working on is a new social media site. It's called Talk to Us, and it is different than any other social media site. It's content driven. All you need to sign up is an email address. You can proceed anonymously, and then it asks you what you want to talk about, and you plug it in. It could be everything from fly fishing to gardening to politics to whatever you want, and it takes that, and our algorithms then search, put you in a room with 5 people, and we've mimicked like a cocktail gathering or any social gathering. So it's not a stacked dialogue. It's around a round table. Users can watch other conversations. When a room fills up, it spills over and creates another room. And while you're discussing it, our algorithms are analyzing the discussion and then scraping the web and bringing in subject matter and stories. No different than a web browser, which in fact, in a way, it is a search engine. But it's a dynamic, real-time dialogue between people, and you don't need to know people. It doesn't have to be a friend. It's not a friend list. It's subject. If someone's interested in the subject and you're interested in that subject, Talk to Us brings you together. Eventually, we'll have translation features, so people from different countries speaking different languages will be able to speak. You'll be able to upload or share profiles, but it's not going to be It's not a static site. It's dynamic in that it's a conversation. Shortly after you leave, your posts will leave. So there will be nothing where, well, Brett said this 3 months ago. It'll be gone. And so it's sort of it's not going to get targeted as a right wing or a left wing site at all. We're really, one of our mantras is it's based on principles, not politics. And it's just an open chat forum, but it's very user friendly and easy to get into. It's not going to tattoo you in terms of job interviews or things down the road. You don't develop a history. You just communicate with other people in the world with similar interests.
That is so awesome. And you said you're working on it, right? And it's not going to be totally up for how many days now?
Probably, I mean, my developers, we have a great team. We have a retired federal judge. We have an entrepreneur his name's Dan Schwartz, Entrepreneur of the Year Award and Exporter of the Year in Wisconsin, a real dear friend, like a brother to me. And then we have 2 developers that are savants, Arthur Weborg and Dalton Moran, who basically work with genetics, and they're brilliant mathematicians. And then we have some other developers that we sub out to. So we have a great team. We've been working on it for about 2 years. We put it online last spring, but there was some issues with, because we went so much like Snapchat, your post would leave with you, and the patience of the users was so short that I'd post something and I'd get bored, I'd pull out, and then someone else would come and there would be no dialogue. We've extended the time that your posts are going to stay up, and your post will be replaced. So after you do there'll be 2 of your posts, and the 3rd post eliminates the first post. So it's, again, very dynamic, just like a conversation in a social gathering. And my developers are very motivated because of the recent censorship and the way social media, there's this war going on between Google and Amazon and Parler and Gab and Twitter. We believe we're gonna dodge that bullet because we're not gonna be political at all. It really is just a social forum. Talk about what you want. We're a moral company. We certainly will have, our algorithms will screen out the common things, sexting, child pornography, and those types of things. But other than that, it's free reign. Talk about what you want to talk about. And if there's no one there, as soon as, just like you get a notice on your phone app, if someone's talking about a subject you were interested in, you'll get a notice, and you can just click on that, go right in and have the discussion, share what you want, share personal. It's exciting because it's different than anything else. It's not an alternative. It really is a different form. It's akin to like walking wherever you want to walk on any subject in the world with a group of people who have similar interests. So you share comments. And then the other exciting thing about it is because the developers, they're really good. And the synergy they're going to be able to offer advertisers and the target market, they're very much into AI and machine learning and neural programming, those things. So there's going to be just a tremendously efficient synergy or connection between the advertisers and their target market, unlike anything else. It won't be as if you say, but I've been on a fishing expedition to find a Volvo, and now you're going to get 400 ads on your site saying, hey, go to Canada and fish. It's much more, it just dices it much more efficiently, where it really, our algorithms, they know what you're talking about, and therefore they can put advertisers in touch with target markets, and also users in touch too. If you're on one subject and you're not articulating it well, but it's listening to your dialogue or analyzing your dialogue, it will make suggestions. You might want to look at this. You might want to look at this. Go to this site. And so it's going to just connect the world, and people are going to just have a blast talking. I mean, you could literally have a war between two countries and have the people just discussing it. And we're really excited.
Wow, that sounds absolutely awesome. I have a couple questions now. When you put your email in, would you be able to put a picture of yourself in there, or is that completely out of it?
No, you'll be able to put a picture of yourself in. You can proceed anonymously. You can sign up through Facebook. You can sign up through Facebook. Yes, eventually you'll be able to share. It'd be no different than you and I meeting, and we would share whatever we want with each other. And we're working on upload features, so you can upload documents or stories or photographs. But it's almost as if we're all at a social gathering, and we have an assistant listening to what we're saying and handing us what things that might be germane to our conversation.
That is so interesting. I cannot wait to be on there. Now, I have a question now, like, how Debbie and I have our site for the health and wellness of youth. Would we be able to do something on there with that, or is that?
Yeah, absolutely. You put your site in or your interests.
Yeah.
And to the extent anybody was discussing your site, you would get notification. You'd be able to go right into the room and join in and say, yeah, this is if they were complaining about your site or complimenting it, you could, with a few swipes of your finger, you can be in the room and tell them thanks or comment or respond. So yeah, it's really dynamic. I mean, and it's real time, and it's just an ongoing conversation of the world. So yeah, you can absolutely, a business too could put their product in and as a subject. And so anytime anyone mentions Husqvarna's chainsaw, Husqvarna would get note, hey, they're talking about your chainsaw. Then they can put a sales rep in the room and say, hey, here's the details. Here's what Husqvarna's do. Here's where they shine, that type of thing. So it'd be like, I guess I keep saying social gathering, just be at the world's biggest social gathering where everything's being discussed, and you can join any conversation you want about any subject you want, as long as it's legal.
Yeah, you know how great that's going to be for people, especially at late night, that they have nothing, they just like to be on the computer talking to somebody. That would be
Sure, yeah,
great.
I do actually.
There would be, a lot of lonely people, and also people that just have to talk. I mean, we're at that point right now in our country where people just want to talk.
They do. No, you're so right. And they can use, and that's the nice thing, that because it's not identity driven, and you don't need a friend list, and you don't have to look at the right side of Facebook and say, who's up at 1 a.m. You just put your subject matter in whatever content you want to discuss. And there you go. There are your people. You get to know them, you make friends, and we plan on never finishing this project. We have every intent of having it evolve into something more and more and more, until it just really is a dynamic that you travel the web with. So it's sort of a mix between traditional social media, a chat room, and a search engine.
Oh, that sounds great. Now, I can't remember what you said. Did you say it was a free site or is there
It's free.
Oh, that's awesome.
Absolutely free, and also no data mining, no individual data mining. None of those things will be enforced. Certainly, our algorithms will be able to identify trends. They are able to identify what prominent conversations are and do in ranking, just typical algorithm work. But there's not a circumstance where if you mention Timex can purchase from us everybody who mentioned Timex or something like that. We're not going to mine the data in that fashion. But in terms of trends, popular subjects, that will do. We think that'll be an asset value too, important for people just to basically see, which way the winds are blowing based on conversations. And we will not censor at all. We are very, very much in favor of free speech, freedom of assembly, the Bill of Rights, very much. So as much as we might disagree with somebody, what's the saying? I'd die for the right to say it.
Right. Okay, so now you are on Facebook, right?
We have a Facebook page.
Could you tell everybody what your Facebook page is?
Talk to us at Facebook.
Okay, sounds good. And then now your actual page is not up yet, correct?
That's not up. You'll be able to go, if you go to the Facebook page, it'll give announcements. Within about a week, we're going to be doing some test runs, and you may be able to go to demo.talktous.com right now and get a flavor of it. That comes up as an insecure website. It is secure, but there's some logistics to take that caveat off. But you can get to it if you go to demo.talktous.com. But in about a week, and this will be announced on Facebook, users will be able to sign on to justtalktous.com and have the experience. My developers are very, very concerned that they want when it's released, when we say it's out, they want it to be ironclad. They don't want it to crash. They don't want it to have effects and things like that. And we have some other young people, including my daughter Hadley, who are giving they're able to go to Snapchat and Reddit and Twitter and basically take out, this is a good quality, this is a bad quality, fix this. So there's a lot of activity going back and forth and perfecting the site.
Oh, that is so awesome. Debbie, you have any questions?
I do. I have, and I think that this is going to help people who are listening to this now and recorded later with some thoughts here. So let me just see if I got the grasp of this, which I believe I do. So Laura, say I want to get on there because, and let's just say I have a question or a thought or something that I want to learn more about. Maybe it's something women do. Let's take, for instance, I'm just going to throw cooking out there. Okay. It just happens to be a good one. And I'm like, oh, I want to make a lasagna or something. So I could actually start a chat with people and people might give back forth, things even just in that kind of realm. Am I looking at that right? Kind of?
No, you're absolutely correct. Anything you want to speak about, talk to people about, put it on there. And if no one happens to be talking about that subject at that time, you'll be notified when they are, and you'll be able to go and share as much information, recipes, personal information, make friends, establish new friends, that type of thing. It also has a feature where you can, when you're in the room, I can take my cursor and hover over your avatar and it'll come up mute or whisper. So if someone's being unruly or you don't want to listen to them, you can mute them just like you would a normal conversation. But I can also go to your avatar and whisper to you. So even though we're at a table, there'll be a color-coded conversation between you and I, and no one else will see that. So we can battle someone at the table if we want. Again, very similar. We're really trying to make it as consistent with a real conversation as possible.
I see two really cool things here that my mind is going right now. So I'm going to use health and wellness right now. I'm going to use people trying to get healthy. This is the year. Our big focus and our goal. Lori and I have been doing this Reset 2021. So people are always asking other people for advice on certain things. Maybe they're looking for a new sports watch or a new some device or whatever. They can get feedback, which is pretty cool. But if you've got people that are in the health and wellness industry, whether they're direct sales sales or whatever, they may pick up on it and they may be able to find a potential client or,
Sure.
whatever, you know what I'm saying? So for instance, people that have home-based businesses, I know I do myself too, is a great place. I wouldn't say advertise per se, I'd say connect with people. And then you might start up a conversation. Somebody might say, hey, I want to know more about what you do. And then you could kind of, send them information or give them a link. Is that sound like that would be really cool. I could see that happening.
That will be there. I mean, I suspect there'll be some businesses that have people monitoring it all the time, because anytime just a perpetual salesperson. Also, when you're having your discussion about, to use your example, lasagna, our scrapers are looking through the web. So it's very likely, highly probable, there are going to be recipes coming up and stories and news feeds regarding lasagna. So you're having the discussion, and even though you're not specifically doing like a Google search, our Talk to Us is searching the web and bringing up stories and data on your subject matter. And it's very good. Our algorithms are very specific in finding very relevant information to what you're talking about. And they're getting better. They're sort of, because it's a component of AI, they get better as they do more. They do more.
This is really cool. Yeah. And I think what I love about it is it's so pure, and you're not censoring it, but yet if you do find something that you guys will, find, if there's something going down that really shouldn't be on there, obviously it'll get taken care of, but it's a place that you can feel like you can, talk honestly, and just like I'm out for coffee. If we were together in the same room right now, we're having a cup of coffee, we're having a conversation, so you do it there, And
again, no history. So to the extent you say something or criticize somebody and you just, that's between you and I, it isn't entirely between you and I, but it's gone. It's, 3 comments later, it's gone, or 2 comments later, it's gone. And it's not stored in any accessible database or anything like that. And so there's a certain anonymity to it, no different than, again, you and I in a coffee shop speaking. It's really between, it really is new, and it really is not an alternative to the other existing social media sites.
Awesome. That's awesome. Well, we also know that you're an author, and we're getting long on time for this segment. We'd like to bring you back on another time and talk about some of the books you wrote, because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that will benefit by that as well. Sure. But you can feel free to add some of those book titles onto our page. And as Lori and I always talk about, we're always, our whole thing is, reset 2021, and to help people better themselves, do great things and make connections, so this has been a lot of value. I'm very thankful that we were able to get this interview with you today. I'm going to turn it back to you, Lori, for anything else you want to do and close us out.
I just want to say thank you so much, Brett. I've always admired you, and it's so funny, when you're in high school, you never realize what people are going to be in their future. And like I said, you have accomplished so much, and we're so honored to have you on. And we're so looking forward to being on Talk to Us. And again, we're gonna put some links out there for some other information. But go ahead, if you're on Facebook, go ahead and go to Talk to Us, so you get some information, kind of follow it. And Debbie and I are going to put these on our Facebook pages, and we're going to have all it out to everybody to see. But if you have any questions, don't forget to send us a message. With that, Brett, is there anything you need to say?
Well, thanks so much. I enjoyed, you might not know this, but I enjoy talking about myself and my stuff. So it's fun. And I love speaking about writing. I spend a lot of time. I basically write from 9 till midnight most nights, and I loved talking about writing. I'm looking forward to coming back, and I just thank you two so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Great. All right, you guys, you have a wonderful day, and we look forward to seeing you on Friday.
Sounds great. Take care. All right, thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much again.